I'm thinking about all these different obstacles that may come up. A lot of us aren't prepared for life. We get up willy-nilly and just hope life is gonna happen. It is gonna happen, but it's gonna happen with a prepared mind or an unprepared mind. Most people attack life with an unprepared mind. I know for a fact I'm not gonna wanna work out tomorrow. Therefore, I'm preparing my mind for that. I don't wanna do that. I know tomorrow's gonna come with some difficult decisions to make. Be ready for life. Don't let life just start attacking you left and right. Make sure that you start to build a mental armor so then you're ready for life. And that comes with a very physical way, and the physical helps out the mental.
This morning I woke up with a slack jawed, poopy pants mentality. I believe in taking days off. I think days off are real important for recovery and all that stuff. But I don't believe in taking days off because your mentality is just feeling sorry for yourself. I deserve this, or I've earned that mentality. And that's what I was saying to myself. Today's self-talk was horrible. We all have one voice, and that one voice is very powerful. That says, hey, you've earned this, you deserve this, take time off, all that stuff. Start developing the other voice that fights that voice. When it's not a designated day off, I don't care if it's running, swimming, biking, studying. If it's not a day off, don't take a day off. And start developing that voice that fights the weaker voice. So remember that. We all have one voice, work on the other voice also.
Come on, if you wanna join the community and get hard and see what you're about, don't talk about rest. How do you do it? No, let's stop thinking so much and let's put the shoes on and get grinding. He's crazy. I'm crazy. They put a title on us. It allows you to go away in your comfort zone saying, he's just nuts. He's special person. That gives you a get out of jail free card. You can go ahead and be normal now because we're special people. No, we found what we want in life. That's all it is. That's all it is. And very few people, they're all confused. Life's confusing because they make it confusing. You have to remind yourself, we all have a story. All of us have gone through very hard times. But when we're in a hard time, our mind has a way of forgetting what all we've overcome. I have a way of taking 1 second when I want to quit and saying, okay, you endured this. So I look at my life and how I came up as the ultimate training ground versus most people look at it as why? Woe is me. God, why?
Right, exactly.
Why? I had to flip this upside down and say, hang on a second. God was training me to be one of the baddest men on the planet Earth. This was my journey. So instead of looking at it like, oh my God, man, why did I start it? Why did my dad beat me for it? Why is this? It was to be right where I'm at today. I'm now around the most uncommon of uncommon people. And I'm like, my God, I'm here. Do I belong here? So your mind has a good way of taking the path of least resistance. Whenever friction happens, friction causes growth. Whenever friction happens, that's why a lot of us don't have any growth, because when friction happens, we go the opposite direction. So in my mind, when friction happened, my mind said, you're not real. You've lied your whole life. You come from this, you can barely read. Those things, so whenever times got hard, my mind said, you're not good enough. Let's go. My eyes, my mind weren't connecting. When I was in the worst time of my life in Hell Week, I looked at everybody and said, I'm the most trained person here. I've gone through more mental torture than any of you all can even fathom. So I'm looking at the baddest people on the planet. I'm looking at them like this. You guys can't hold a stick. So I started looking at verses like, I don't belong here, versus like, I might be the baddest person to ever come here. Who could have pulled this off? Mm-hmm. Who could have been given a sewer to live in their mind and say, okay, at birth, I'm gonna put you in the worst place on the planet Earth, and let me see if you can go to the top of the mountain with nothing, but just hard work, grit, and figuring it out, and not putting yourself back in the dungeon every time something got hard. So that's what became my daily voice was, you really are the baddest person on the planet. And after a period of time, you start to believe that. First Hell Week, the second Hell Week, the third Hell Week, that became my new norm.
Mediocrity feels so good. So we love surrounding ourselves with mediocre people. They give us a get out of jail free card. Whenever life gets hard for us, they tell us it's all okay. Don't worry about it. We don't want to surround ourselves with those people out there who are getting after it every day, holding us accountable, making us feel uncomfortable. People who are challenging us at every turn of life. Those people scare us. That's exactly where you need to be in your life, with those people who put you in a world of questioning who you are. That's exactly where you want to go. That's exactly where you grow.
Bones were just hurting so bad. My body was just broken. And I learned to get over that also. And I tried to swim a lot. I wasn't a great swimmer, but putting fins on kind of equalized my body. I wasn't so negative buoyant. So I started finning a whole bunch. And I spent hours in the pool. Hours in the pool. I was so scared of the water that I had to live in the water. I had to become one with the water. So going to the pool used to scare me. And then the bike got easier. I was able to run more. I went from like 1 mile, 2 miles, and then from 2 to 3 was a big one. Then I went from 3 to 6. And that was my goal. And so I failed, I go back to scratch. Part of the process. This is part of the journey. I had to realize this is part of my process versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. If I'm not good enough, we always say that I'm just not good enough. And then we try something else. I'm going to make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I'm going to make myself good enough. And so I'm misunderstood a lot, but that's all it came down to. I made myself good enough. And your brain is the most powerful weapon. Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over. And all I knew back then was hard work. The only way anything gets accomplished. That's all I heard back in those days. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. I told myself after the first time, I knew it was gonna be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what? This is my new norm. So my mind said, it's like going to work. Like you go to work, you put your suit and tie on. I go into suffering every day. Every day, suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet up, stress fractures, shin splints, being broken. This is my new norm. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more callous. People, how did you run on broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're in Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I love God. But for a short period of time, I became the devil because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You immerse yourself wherever it is, and you become that. You become that. The days I couldn't run that far, the next week, I would do 2-a-days. If I ran a quarter of a mile, I wait a fucking couple hours. It'd haunt me, bother me. I try to run a half a mile the next time. Same day. You can do more than this. If I had to walk, I had to walk. It just became just a process of grinding and grinding. And grinding is not even a good word for it. It's not even a good word for it. Just going further and further. And then when I got through running, I go to the bike. I go to the pool. If I got tired somewhere, my legs were tired, I go to the gym. And I developed this crazy workout where I was doing volume 300 reps of like very lightweight. People always say, how come you don't have any like loose skin? My workout routine in the gym became sick. It became sick. I was just doing 300 reps, 400 reps. I would rack it, get back on it, just rep it out, trying to burn as many calories as I can, build that muscle mass. And I just became obsessed with it.